Are we live? I think we're live. We're live and we're alive. And we're alive and we're alive. I'm goofy because I just woke up from a nap. Eve, she's kicking me in the ovaries today. It's one of those things that, my goodness, people in general, women in general have to deal with, but those of us who have PCOS or other issues, but then it's so funny because, like, you got PCOS, you go like your whole life, like, I just wish I could get regulated, which is true because you don't want to get regulated because it really helps a lot. And I talked about that a couple of lives ago where I like self-regulated or I self-medicated myself to regulation. Go sue me, whatever. Anyway, you can't do it unless you live in a country where you have access to what I had access to. So I didn't feel too bad about making suggestions that were maybe medically unsound. But I am not a doctor. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. So you can't get too mad at me. Anyway, yes. And that whole thing about, yeah, I'm regulated, but then it's like every month I have this pain. And it actually was kind of nice. I used to, because my periods would be so bad. I mean, they still are. Like, I'm knocked out for a whole day, but it used to be even more than that. I would be knocked out for sometimes, 2 or 3 days. And like just agonizing, crying and what, which, I know how to get on top of it now. So as soon as there's that little bit, it's not quite a pain. It's a pre-pain. Like, you just feel like your body's getting sleepy because it's trying to fight off the pain. And yeah, I don't know how to explain it. If you have really bad cramps, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, you didn't know you were going to come on here. We're going to jump right into female problems, right? But that's how we roll. So regulating is great because it helps with all the other symptoms and whatnot, but then it's kind of not so fun to have the period all the time because then we've got cramps so bad. Right? Well, you don't have to go. She's going inside the drapes and then whining to go outside because things are happening outside. They're not happening in here. They're outside, Mom. Come on. You're okay. You can act. You want your toy? Get your toy. Here. Get your toy. Yeah, there you go. You want it? Want it? Go get it. Nails on the hardwood floors. All right. Now she's going to bring it back here and say, throw it again, Mom. That was fun. Okay. So we got some things to talk about. I have not gotten anything. I've been really good with my low buy up there we go. My webcam was a little confused about what I was doing there. Oh, you're going to lick my hand now? I put lotion on. Don't lick my lotion. She's going to sit here and bop my elbow with her nose because she wants tensions. I want tensions, Mommy. I want tensions. She's so cute. She's such a sweetheart. She's my bud. I don't know what I'd do without her. My husband asked me the other day, what would you do if something happened to Rainbow? I was like, almost in tears with him asking me that. I'm like, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't gotten any stuff. I've been really good about not buying anything. Almost really good. I still have subscription boxes coming, and as I mentioned before, I still have something that I got from Boxy's pop-up. I think that's what it's called. But that's it. The one that I'm looking at, and it is related to my eye look today. I'm trying not to take my glasses off because eyeglasses kind of act as a filter to mask the badness that is my attempt at a graphic look. But I'll show you anyhow. So I love graphic liner. I love the look of it. Graphic shadow. I love things that kind of pop and give character and things like that. So as you can kind of see with my look. And of course I have very hooded eyes. So if I do this and I look at you like I normally would, this kind of just looks like a wing liner. And that's the look that I kind of figured out works really easily for me. So I can kind of play with that. I am playing with this Neons palette from Profusion, and I actually quite like it. Today I used this exclusively as far as from this palette, and then this in the inner corner, which I'm really liking as the inner corner highlight. This is the only shimmer in the palette. And then with that, I use the Juvia's Place liner in this like bright blue because it matched my shirt, and this is from my master's alma mater that they just sent to me because I did a survey for their graduates, and they said, we'll send you a t-shirt. And I said, okay, because you can always use t-shirt. Worth the couple minutes that I spent in the whole survey thing. So anyway, I did this, and I just basically put this all over. So I framed it with that pencil, but I don't know if it's the pencil or if it's my eyes. And I tend to think that it's my eyes because I kind of have this when I'm doing liner with anything. Do you have the thing, if you wear glasses, do you have the thing where if you don't wear your glasses, you can't think? I literally will have something sitting right here, and I'm nearsighted. So if it's close to me, I can see it, right? But I have something right here, and then I can't see that it's there. I know that it's there, but I can't find it. Or like I'll have a bunch of brushes, and just because, I mean, I can see them just fine, but I have to put my glasses on in order to be able to sort it out. I think it's a psychological thing more than anything. But anyway, back to my eye look. So I did the, little bit here in the corner, and then I did the little wing thing on the outside with the liner, and it's chunky, but I think it's chunky partly because I end up using a handheld mirror, which is over here. I've got so much stuff here, it's ridiculous. This AOA Studio that I got a bunch of stickers on from different places, and so I use that. I have a bigger mirror here, but I just find that with my nearsightedness, that it's hard for me to work with it. I like have to stick my face right into it, which works for some things, but not for others. So I just get used to using that handheld mirror. But I can't put the liner on and kind of make my eye taut at the same time. So what are your tricks, guys? I think I'm gonna just have to use the mirror on the stand. This little guy that I got from Amazon a while ago. It opens up, and it has a magnified 2x and 3x magnified on the side and whatnot. It's a decent little thing, and it also has, you can plug it into the USB and it illuminates, but I like the ring light is better if I need illumination. So, or I can just meditate for illumination, or talk to God. He can illuminate me, right? Anyway, so yeah, I'm having a hard time getting it smooth. You see how chunky and icky it is over here? I did this look in like 10 minutes because I didn't put any makeup on today. I put makeup on every day, but it's usually just to take for the sake of the picture that I take, so I can say, this is my look, and then so I can do it later, whatever. So I'll be wearing this for like 2 hours and then taking it off or something like that. Although I am drinking coffee right now. I got this coffee from McDonald's for my hubby because I got him some the other day. So he's an immigrant that he just came to the US from Haiti in November, and he's learning all the things of living as an immigrant. And I lived as an immigrant for several years in first Haiti for the first several years, and then to the Dominican Republic for a year. And I had lived in Mexico for some time before that when I was quite a bit younger. So I'm kind of used to that a little bit, living in other countries. And so now he's getting used to the idea of, and it's quite a shock. So he's like, what do you have here? So there's so many things that if I say iced coffee, that's, in Haiti, you don't ice coffee. There's no such thing as iced coffee. What does that even mean? So I just usually get something and give it to him. I got one yesterday and I gave him, and he drank the whole thing and seemed to enjoy it. So I got him another one today and he didn't touch it. But he's also a little stressed. So life, but it's all good. I have just gone on so many rabbit trails right now. I have to get myself back. I have to put my glasses on so I can think about what I was talking about. All right, we were talking about this palette and graphic eye looks. So yeah, I need to figure out how to hold my eyes a little taut. The other thing, however, speaking of a low buy, I'm interested in trying water activated liners. Have you tried water activated liners, and what do you think? The one that I'm interested in, because it's cheap, and I know that's not the best way to look at it because you might get junk, but Beauty Bay now has a really cute palette of water activated liners. And I have the last two, actually the first two, which is the Hot Heat from LA Girl, the 16 pan palettes. If I get those ones, then I'll have the entire set. I'm sorry, Instagram, you guys are a little bit off kilter over here. Let me straighten you out. There we go. You have me a little more centered. Let's try that. All right. So yeah, I have the Hot Heat in my shopping cart, and Beauty Bay is the only place I was able to find them. And then I saw that they have these water activated liners that are like $10 for, I think it's 5 or 6. I thought that might be cool. And they have really cute colors like periwinkle and stuff like that. And I'm like, so I might, once I do that, once I splurge for that, which might be June, I think I can make that my June splurge. I've been really good for the last couple weeks. I was really bad before that, so I have to make up for my badness. Anyway, maybe water activated liners will work because I've heard that they just kind of glide more easily over the skin, which hopefully will work with wrinkles and bumps, and I have skin tags and all sorts of things going on. But this actually works pretty well, and you can see, so everything inside, that the liner looks so dark on here. It doesn't look quite as dark on Instagram, but it looks really dark on YouTube, which is really interesting. These go on a little bit of a wash, but a trick you can use with these ones, and you can't use them with all because you can get hard pan, but they work pretty well with these mattes from Profusion, or at least these ones. And I think in the Spectrum palette as well, which is the other bright one, spray your brush with a little bit of this guy. And because the pans are big, you see how big those pans are, right? That my finger compared to the pan. The pan is almost 2 fingers width, right? So spray a little bit of this, or you can just put a little bit of, water or spray, or I think even alcohol could work. I don't know that you'd want to use that, but I think these have alcohol in them anyhow, usually. Maybe. But put something like that, or you could use like a solution and put that on one side. If you do it always on the same side, then if you do get hard pan, it's not going to affect the rest of the shadow. You can still use it because there's a lot of space. But I used it here right in the middle, and it doesn't look like it's affecting hard pan. But again, I can still work around that if I need to. So, and it really intensified. So now it came off very much true to color here. So I was putting it on without wetting the brush. And this is a matte that I'm wetting the brush. But if I wet the brush and do this, it works quite well. I like this palette. It's cheap. I know it's cheap. I know people dog on it, but I like it. Tell me what better palettes there are out there that I really need to get. I know there are better mattes, but as far as having a matte kind of rainbow, well, this isn't rainbow. I think the Spectrum would be more rainbow. The two together would definitely be rainbow. This is almost. My dog's gonna say, "Why are you saying my name?" Her name's Rainbow. So, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. The rest of my face then, if you care, almost nothing. And I like that look for summer, where it's just like almost nothing on your face. I did the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. This is an older powder that's in my pan, my project pan, and it's getting down there. I think I'm almost at pan on this one side here. It's just that with a brush, it kind of takes from the whole thing, so it takes a little while to see that. I used the Essence I Love Stage. What is up with this name? I don't understand that name. I use that as my eye primer. I didn't prime my face because I just used that powder. I didn't put any base products on it at all because I don't really care. And then I just used this guy from e.l.f., which is the Spiced Apple. Yeah, Spiced Apple Face Duo. This is so cute. This is also in my project pan. I really like this combo. So you've got a matte and a shimmer. Really cute. And I use this for like bronzer a lot, but I just like did a bronzer blush sort of look there. Used my Lash Paradise, which is, it's so dry right now. It should be out, but I'm just determined to get the last couple uses out of it. So we'll see how long that goes. It really needs to be done. And I actually use it on my brows too and just spoolied through them to get any chunks out, whatever. And then I use this one also in my project pan, which is the Diamond Lip Gloss from AOA Studio. I really like this guy. It's so cute. It has these little sparkles that are like pink and gold. I think this one has pink and gold. Maybe green too. Yeah, I think I see green in there too. Really cute, but they have a few of these, and these are really cute. For summer, perfect for the lips because they just add a little bling. And if you were in my live on Sunday, I pulled myself together. So I didn't actually put my hair in a side pony, but what I did is I had a ponytail and I just pulled it to the side. Same idea, right? So if I put my hair back like this, it looks really plain, nondescript, nothing going on. I didn't even brush my hair for you guys, but what I did do is I did the big act of pulling my hair to the side, and literally just that. I also could do a side ponytail, but it's long enough I can do this right now. Put these same earrings on because they're adorable and I can wear them with so many things. And I'm just wearing, you know, a t-shirt and shorts, and I look pulled together-ish. A little quick eye look that's kind of fun, and almost nothing on my face. With these glasses, these glasses are from Zenny, and they've got the little green, the little teal green at the top. Really cute, but really understated too. They're not like in your face at all. So anyway, that's what's going on my face. What are you guys doing? I love when you guys interact with me. I really do. I love, and I know, Charles Gooden said, can you briefly but truthfully provide new information regarding the recent spat of Wukular sightings near and around the Morley Manor, and what do you intend to do about it? Absolutely nothing. Wear more eyeshadow. That will probably take care of that. That's all I've got to say about that. Yeah, so I haven't ordered anything, but if I do get that stuff from Beauty Bay, I may throw in those water-activated liners, because that's not an eyeshadow palette. So then I'm not going over because I'm trying to make sure that the number of eyeshadow palettes I use every month in my 5 days, 1 palette is more than the number that I bring in for that month. So if I get those 2 in June, that will be it for June. But if I get the water-activated liners, that's not an eyeshadow palette. So that will be okay. Non-eyeshadow things are fine. So she's decided to sit down here by me and chew on stuff so that she can be part of the action too. What are we talking about today? Oh, we're talking about how to talk to thin people about body positivity and diet culture. Here's the thing. In anything that you are passionate about, I'm a very passionate person, and my passion has often gotten me into trouble. Often. And it's not because I've been wrong or even that I've approached things wrong, but people are so overly sensitive. Particularly, can I just call y'all out? In the Midwestern Caucasian culture, that is so passive-aggressive. That is such an unhealthy culture. No, there's some other unhealthy cultures too. So I'm not just saying that, white people are all messed up. But I'm going to call out my own peeps, right? I'm going to say like the way it is. Whew, white people who are passive aggressive, that is so damaging. It is so bad. And I deal with this. It's one of the several reasons that as soon as I discovered that, that the majority of the world was not that culture. I mean, I never fit in that culture. And constantly was being told, you're too abrasive, you're too this, that, you need to be nice, right? I'm in Minnesota, so niceness is next to godliness. And I'm like, but it's not being nice, because ultimately, if I tell somebody they have something in their teeth, they might not like getting the message, but they do like that I told them that. They might be mad at me. Or a bigger example, if I tell the girl that the guy's cheating on her, I might lose the friend. But at least my conscience is free. Or vice versa. You tell the guy that the girl's cheating on her, whatever. People don't like to hear the truth. So instead, they use passive aggressiveness and they act as if that's the way we're supposed to be, and then say, no, you can't do that, right? It's such a messed up thing. So stop being a passive aggressive. People who are passive aggressive don't realize they are, generally speaking. Unfortunately, whatever. Such is life. But so I've been talking to some people, and these aren't passive aggressive people, so that's not to call anybody out for that. But some of the people that I do talk to are the passive aggressive, and there's some difficult things. But the challenge I think that we have as big people, fat people, in this culture that is so anti-fat, and the thing is, it's not even fat. This is the thing that we need to understand. The standards of body health, what is acceptable as body health, have so drastically changed over the last even century, that now what was considered to be healthy, my size would have been considered healthy for the majority of history. That's fact. I would have been more desirable. In fact, in most cultures, I am more desirable. My body type and my size and whatnot is more desirable in most cultures than a very thin, thick, thin, sort of female. And not that, again, you should, because people have different body types. So I'm not judging thin people. I'm just saying that in most cultures, I would be preferable today. But that's not the dominant European American Western culture. Although that is changing too. And I do think that a lot of the body positivity and stuff is changing. But I think that sometimes the way that we approach it can be very polarizing. And I understand that because I am the same way. And I'm just like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being told that all my woes of life are because I'm fat, and that if I was just not fat, then it would be okay. And I'm tired of going to family events where people think it's okay to tell my visually very fit husband, extremely fit husband. I get comments about that all the time. Wow, he works out. Like strangers in the store stop us and be like, "Wow, dude, you work out." Like, man, and not only is he big, but he's muscular, but he's very, very low body fat, and that's just his metabolism. And he goes to the gym every single day, but he's not healthy. The way he eats is not healthy. If people analyzed his diet versus my diet, I'd win by quite a bit. Which is an irony too, and also even just as activity levels, he'll go to the gym and smash, and then he'll come home and smash in the bed for all day, because he'll just be exhausted and he doesn't want to get up. He doesn't go outside. He doesn't get his exercise that way. So it's a little bit imbalanced there too. Where I'm more likely to take my daily walks and eat a more of a balanced meal and whatnot. And that's just my preference. That's just because I like it, not because I count calories or anything like that, or because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not. So talking to people. I have a cousin. It's actually a cousin once removed. So her dad is my cousin. And she's a nurse. And so nursing people, again, and she may actually come in here, and I think that would be really interesting. She has popped into my live streams before, so maybe she'll come in. And I would love to have her on and kind of make the comparison and stuff. And we haven't really super disagreed, but I will throw some things out there. And I want to say a couple of things that were said, just kind of in general. And one of the things that I think helping people to understand where the perspective is, I think that's where the problem is. So the biggest thing that we need to understand, people are adhering to diet culture not because they hate you, but because they are in the middle of it too. So it's not just fat people, particularly fat girls, who are told constantly through their whole life, Rainbow's drinking, so excuse the splashes, that are told consistently through their life that they are supposed to be at a certain level or they do not have value. It's not just fat people, it's all people. And thin people are often terrified, because what you'll find with a lot of these thin girls is they have a lot of power, and they know when they're young they have a lot of power, and they learn to really utilize that, and because of their attractiveness, right? Especially if you have very exceptionally beautiful, whatever that standard might be, but you have very beautiful girls who are thin, and they are told that their sexuality is the basis of their self-acceptance. And that's a whole other topic, but I'm going to just give you this real quickly. I do not adhere to the trend of of saying essentially that fat girls are effable also. Because that entire, it's true, clearly, but the entire thing is screwed up. The whole point is, are you trying to find your identity and your worth? I guess it's playtime. Your identity and your worth based on who will bed you? Either way, I don't care if you're skinny or fat. That's messed up. And so when I see like these people that are body positive and they're like, doggy style on their bed with their butts up in the air and wearing lingerie and this and that, everything else, I'm like, okay, you do you, that's fine, whatever. But you're making it harder for the rest of us because you are, again, you're feeding right into that idea that your value as a human being, particularly as a woman, lies in somebody wanting to procreate with you or at least lay down with you. And that is that's so disrespectful to yourself because you deserve so much more than that. I got excited. I have to drink something to get that tickle out of my throat. But yeah, so this is like one of those things where I'm like, we're screwing ourselves over, no pun intended, by saying basically that as long as we can find a man, we have value. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. A man, a woman, a significant other, whatever, that we somehow have value. And that's it's so messed up. Okay. We're not talking about that today. We will talk about that at a different time, I think, but not today. So, so basically today, the idea is like, how do you talk to people that really know nothing about our perspective of it? And I think the first thing is understand they do have the same pressures in a different way. They have the same pressures from a different side, or yeah, something like that. So you have this ideal of a woman. What is acceptable? What is effable? What is bettable, right? And that's really what it is. Your value of a woman lies in your ability to keep a man interested in you. And if your man is no longer interested in you, that's your fault. And this has been said to women for thousands of years. If your man steps out, it's your fault for whatever reason. And so this is one of the big problems that we have. I mean, Carly, she talks about it in her songs even. And then what happens? Her man steps out on her. So same idea. It's like this whole cultural thing. And so they're getting it from the other side. And so they're actually terrified of looking like us. And this is what we need to understand as fat people, particularly fat women. We have to understand that we are literally a walking example of what they fear probably the most, or at the top of their level of fears. It's not that they hate us. It's that we go against everything that they hold as their value, their worth, because they have been told their whole lives that because you are thin, you are attractive. Because you are thin, you can find a man, which means that you have value. They're not going to necessarily say this or even understand it because we, as fat girls, we have to actually be faced with it every day. With them, it's in the back of their minds, but it's still there just as much as it is with us. It's just in a different place. And so when somebody like myself comes out and does her makeup and looks cute, and especially not only am I fat, but I'm fat, I'm short, my teeth are crooked, I have spaces, whatever. I have a big nose that I don't really care about, and I'm old, and I have facial hair, and I have all this other kind of stuff going on, and I'm just like, I'm me. This is what you get, right? And I'm not trying to pretend. I'm not trying to fake it. I'm not getting the surgeries and that kind of stuff. I'm just being me. And I fly in the face of everything that these girls hold dear. And so when people are very pretentious, and not that they try to be, but most people who are thin, okay, let me rephrase. Most girls who are thin become pretentious, not by their own choice because they're bad people, but because society says, oh, you are thin, therefore you have more value, and we'll give you more attention, and we'll give you more recognition, and we'll give you more respect. And they go, oh, well, I must deserve it, but only because I'm thin. And they know it. And so they know that as soon as they lose their thinness, they lose their value. And so I think it's really important to understand that these people are not necessarily against us. They're terrified. Because if we as fat people are out here confident and saying, We don't care. We're going to still be cute and this and that and everything else. And, just be our best us. Then it flies in the face of their entire self-worth. Their entire model of self-worth is based on this idea of thinness. And so I think we as fat people and as body positivity people and as anti-dieters and that sort of thing, we need to understand that they're coming from a position of fear. They're not trying to be snots. They're not trying to be mean. They're literally coming from a position that they're afraid of losing the entire structure of what they have based their self-worth on for their entire life. And that's a very, it's time to wake up, I guess. I don't know what that alarm was for. I must have set it for something else. So yeah, I mean, seriously, it's such an important topic and something that is not being talked about. So I was having this conversation with my thin cousin, and she's a nurse. And so she's coming at it from a health perspective, right? And a lot of times it's very easy for people who are actually afraid, right? They're afraid of having their identity, their self-identity and their self-worth challenged by somebody who looks like me and is confident. And it's also youngness, right? Youngness, that's not a word, youth, but youngness, the idea of I'm going to do Botox, I'm going to do this and that and everything else. And as long as I look young, then I am such and such. And here's me, a 45-year-old who doesn't really care. And I just go out there and whatever I'm going to wear. And people go, wait a minute, you're not allowed to do that because I fight for my right to use my youth as some sort of badge of this or that. And I'm like, we are who we are. Let's enjoy it, not hate on each other. But you have to understand the other perspective. If you don't understand the other perspective, you've already lost the argument. So you have to be able to understand. So she was talking about how, because they grew up outside of the country in South America. And so when she came back to the country with her brother, she said, we ate all this stuff and we realized that we needed to change our diets. So she's talking about diet culture. And I said, well, here's the problem. You automatically equated it to your weight. Automatically. Because you had put on a few pounds, you automatically, yeah, I agree that age is nothing. Age doesn't mean anything. I see people all different ages that look fantastic. So, but you equate automatically health to your weight. And this is what the whole problem is, because you can't equate health to weight. As I've mentioned, my husband and I, for example, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, Jill. Yeah, I read it. I'm with you. But she was equating essentially that the fact that they had put on weight to health. And I said, you can't, because again, you can look at myself, you can look at my husband, and it would look like I'm the one who sits around and eats all day or stays in the bed and doesn't do anything. It's actually kind of the opposite. He looks incredibly fit and people look at him and go, oh, wow, he must eat great and all this kind of stuff. If you evaluated our lifestyles, you would say something different. So yeah, that's just what you can't tell. You can't tell by body type. And also, using my mom and my dad as an example, he died in his early 50s. He exercised every single day. He watched what he ate every single day. He was a thin person, just naturally thin, the epitome of health, and he died when he was in his 50s. My mom, she's 80 and still going strong, living on her own. She's not, she's still overweight, still looking like me. I have got pictures on my Instagram with her so you could see what my mom looks like next to me. I mean, she's like, an older version of me. So that's, I think it's important to look at things objectively and be able to have these conversations, but not necessarily be feeling like they're the enemy, because they're not the enemy. They're just, honestly, they're scared. They're scared that somebody like that is the opposite of what they have based their identity on. And this is the same thing with race. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there. This is the same thing with race. And it's the same thing, for example, one of the challenges with the natural hair movement, and I'm not pretending to necessarily speak for people that have natural hair. I idolize people who have naturally textured hair, curly hair, but especially textured hair. Love it. I've always loved it. I tried to give myself an afro when I was a kid more than once, because I thought it just looks so cool. I've always loved that look. I love it. I think it's beautiful, but that's me because, whatever. But it has been this measure of value for a woman to have long, straight hair. And so when you turn around as a Black woman or as a woman with naturally textured hair, and you wear that naturally textured hair with pride, people get angry and they say it's unhealthy. There might be lice. There might be different kinds of things in your hair. It's not sanitary. They say all these things. So they're getting the same thing because the idea from the world has said for the longest time that if you don't have long, straight hair, Caucasian hair, then you're not beautiful. And so Black women try to emulate that because that's what they're being told, that, oh, if you have, and the men that they date so say, oh, I like the long hair. And it's funny because I will hear Black men or men who date, who like to date Black women, they will often say, I like natural hair. I don't like fake hair. No, they don't say I like natural hair necessarily. They say I don't like fake hair. Okay? But they won't date a woman. They don't date a Black woman that doesn't have a weave, because they are so ingrained with this idea that long, straight hair is more beautiful. Now it's changed. I mean, that was like, that's like a decade ago, 15, even 20 years ago, when I was hearing this a lot more. I think I'm hearing it less, and I love it because I'm seeing all these crazy, exciting, different colors, different cuts, different styles. People are just wearing their hair. And I've got, for me, it's been interesting because when I went to Haiti, and I was living down there, everybody was like, I love your hair, only because it was Caucasian hair. But my hair was awful, really bad. I mean, it was like, if you look back on pictures, like right now, you see how thin it is. This is about 3 times as thick as it was. I had major scalpage showing here. I would get sunburnt on the top of my head all the time just because there's so much scalp showing. It was bad. And that's why, I flaunt my long hair now because I've worked really hard to get this. I have never had a long hair like this in my adult life. And so the fact that I've been able to grow it as long as I have has been a lot of hard work and a lot of, alternative care and that sort of thing. But when I went to Haiti, their natural reaction was, because you are Caucasian and because your hair is not textured, it is a little bit here, but, not nearly like Black hair or, African heritaged hair. It's the response was, oh, your hair is so beautiful. I'm like, my hair isn't beautiful. Like, stop looking at your hair as something that is the antithesis of beauty, because your hair is gorgeous. And then I would see all their amazing hairdos and stuff. And it takes so much time. That's the one thing I don't envy, is the amount of time that these girls have to put into their hair. And my sisters-in-law and my nieces and everything, they have to take so much time with their hair. I have a niece who's half Haitian, actually. Her mom, my niece, so she's my great niece. I introduced her to her father and made that whole thing happen. But there's 2 of them. They have 2 daughters right now. But the first, she just came out blonde hair, blue-eyed, looking more Caucasian than her mom, but has this incredible hair, like just crazy amounts of hair. And it's just like epic. It's just epic. But it's the same sort of thing. Like, how do you care for that when you've just been used to this limp stuff all your life? I don't know. Anyway, we got off on hair, but it's the same thing. The whole thing is, it's all about when you do something that's different than what people have said makes them worthy of love, or at least makes them worthy of physical affection, and you fly in the face of that, then people go, oh, you can't do that. Like women who shave their heads. It's the same thing, right? And I think bald heads are really beautiful on certain women, not necessarily all women. Rainbow, you're okay. You're okay. You're gonna be fine. Oh man, there's things happening outside and she can't go. She's so sad. But so that's basically, I would say, like with my cousin, I think we've had a good exchange. My cousin once removed. I think we've had a good exchange on that, and really, I think it's a matter of pointing things out from a perspective where you understand she's not trying to be anti-me. She's not against me because I'm fat. She is trying to be helpful. She is a nurse, and so she has been told that health and weight are necessarily intertwined. And getting that out of their minds and helping them to see that, well, no, actually, what has happened in many cases is you put the egg before the chicken, or the chicken before the egg, or whatever that is. Because, again, if you think about diabetics, most diabetics weren't fat when they got diabetes. This is what people don't talk about. Most people with PCOS, myself, were not fat when they got PCOS. Fatness does not make you sick. Sickness can make you fat, but fatness doesn't usually make you sick. Dieting does. Oops. So she was talking about, well, if there's this kid next door and he gained 50 pounds because an ice cream shop went in, then he definitely needs to lose weight. And I said, see, that's the problem. This is the problem. Because immediately you jump to the weight. Why in the world would a teenage kid gain 50 pounds? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. His hormones are changing. He's a teenager. But if a kid is going to gain 50 pounds, there's something else going on. Either he's going through a major, oh yeah, I love wigs too, but they're too itchy. I can't do them. I can't wear something on my head because they're too scratchy, but I love when people wear them. I think they're so cute. All right. Sorry, I'm interacting with Jill here too. So if you're on YouTube and you don't know what we're talking about, that's what's going on. She's chatting back and forth. So, yeah. So anyway, if you have a kid who just gained 50 pounds, there is a way bigger problem than having an ice cream shop next door. Exactly, Jill. That your illness is what makes you put on weight. And not just, this is the other thing that ticks me off so bad from the medical professional. And it's not against the person, and it's against the industry. And it is an industry. All right. They're not there for your health. That was ironic, right? I mean, they are. They're not there for their health. They're there to make money. Ultimately, and it might be because they care about people too, but they're making money, and it is a career at the bottom line. Your illness gives you prescription drugs. I would not have been the weight that I am, the size that I am, had they not immediately put me on birth control as soon as they saw that I had a hormonal issue. That was their first reaction, and it usually is. Even now, it's usually the first response with a young girl who has any hormonal irregularities, is they put them on birth control. That is one of the worst things you can do. It will almost always give you immense fluctuation in weight, like measurable, like major weight gain. It will give you other issues like acne, which is going to, even mess more with your self-confidence and whatnot. So the prescription drugs, people that have mental illness or even like anxiety and things like this, the prescription drugs, depression, that stuff will mess you up. It will give you so much more weight. And then the doctors are giving you the drugs that are making you fat and then saying, well, your problems are because you're fat. Doctor, you made me fat. Okay, in some cases. But yeah, actually your illness will make you heavier. But going back to this idea of this 15-year-old kid or this teenage kid gaining 50 pounds, I told her, I said, the whole problem is you're looking at the weight, and you as a medical professional and as a thin person automatically would look at weight because you are so ingrained with this idea that weight is the primary measurement of health. You look at somebody and say, ooh, they're so healthy. You look at my husband and say, ooh, he's so healthy. Well, do you know all the health issues he has? No, you don't. I can go to the doctor and just fly through my physical because I'm a very healthy person. Do I look it? Maybe not. I don't know, right? So it's just, yeah. And the immediate thing that doctors do is say, lose weight. If you lose weight, you won't have the problem. Well, the fact is, the medicine, this illness, and a lot of other things are what's contributing to the weight in the first place. And no, the illness doesn't go away if you lose weight, but it's like they're getting off the hook. The doctors don't have to do anything. They don't have to understand the illness because as long as you are overweight, this is one of the reasons PCOS has not had any solutions for such a long time, because doctors have been so quick to say, you're fat, that's your problem. Really? But now they're starting to understand it's the illness that makes you fat. It's not the fatness that makes you have PCOS. So, and I don't know what your condition is, Jill, but it's probably a similar sort of thing. Yeah, and it's like with PCOS, we get apple shaped, so all of our fat goes into our bellies. Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now they're starting to understand, and I think that's partly because there are more women with PCOS getting into healthcare, and so they're becoming, um, they're just making, you're like, wait a minute, what we're telling them isn't making sense for my own life. So, and the fact is, if you have PCOS or whatever condition you have, Jill, you are an expert because you live with it. And the doctors might try to tell you that they know more, but they don't. They don't, because they are generalist in most cases. They're not necessarily, there are specialists that might be more informed, but for a generalist, they don't know more about your condition than you do. And so do not let them tell you that. Like, they need to listen to you because it is your life, your body. You are the one who sees the daily fluctuations. You are the one who sees how your body reacts to XYZ, not them. And so you're the expert on your health, not them. And all they can do is help to give guidance. That's my deal. So the other thing with that is, again, we're talking about this 15-year-old kid, is when we automatically look at the weight, then we miss all these other environmental issues. And as I was telling my cousin, this is often the case, is that you'll look at the weight as number one, and then you look at everything else as that will fall into place after the weight is taken care of. And that is so opposite, because again, if a child gains 50 pounds in an abnormal time frame, there's a bigger reason. No one is going to gain 50 pounds in a short period of time unless there's something else going on. Unless there's something else. It's not just an ice cream store that moved next door. It's either habits, it's environment, it's stress, it's hormones, it's growth spurts, it's medication, it's illness, it's something else. So the fat is a symptom. And if doctors and nurses can just start from that place, and again, saying that fat is a symptom does put fat into a negative place, but I would rather start by saying fat is a symptom rather than the cause, because then at least they can start to look at it honestly and say, okay, why have you gained weight? Instead of saying, because you are fat, that's why you're sick. And that's just so easy for them to fall back on that. So anyway, I made the mistake of not charging my phone before I did this, and I've got a few minutes left. And I still want to talk about how us big booby girls can wear sports bras. This is my new favorite thing. Oh my goodness, I have been so afraid of wearing sports bras my whole life, because when I was, speaking of PCOS, when I was like 10. Yeah, I was 10 and I had like size D cup, D to double D cup, boobies. And I mean, that was like traumatizing, right? For a 10-year-old, 10, and I had D cup. So I went literally from a normal size kid to size 12, like overnight. Ridiculous. And so I have been wearing, the underwires and this and that and everything else my whole life. Well, coronavirus has done one good thing, and that is make us realize that we can be comfortable again. That is the one thing that coronavirus has done that I will applaud her for. The rest of it, nah. You can go back to your life, wherever you came from. I don't know where you came from, but you just need to go back to the bat or whatever it is. Or I'm done with Rhoda, but she's okay on this one. So what I did is the last of my torrid bras, and they are good bras, but they're uncomfortable. They are. I've just been used to wearing uncomfortable bras for so many years that I thought that was normal. And so I was like, I didn't want to pay. Man, it's expensive, especially once you get, because right now I'm like an H cup. If I'm actually going to get bras that fit me, and I almost never get bras that fit me because I don't want to pay the $80 to $200, dollars you have to get for an actual well-fitting bra. So what I did, I went into Walmart, because that's where I end up going all the time, because there's one right by our house, basically. I found this guy, and it was on clearance. It was Avia. So this is Avia is the brand, and this is carried at Walmart. It does have like some little marks on here because it's white, and so I have like makeup on the edge that I just washed it, but apparently it didn't all come out, so whatever. But this is white on the outside, black on the, it's not reversible, unfortunately, but it did have pads in, and those got tiring, so I pulled them out because they were just nasty. And I have realized I have been selling myself short for so long by not wearing these. Oh my goodness. Girls, ladies, men, do they have the bro anymore? You guys remember that from Seinfeld? Are we able to acknowledge that we ever watched Seinfeld? I know that was like a racist thing there for a while. I think people now recognize the genius of the show itself, if not the actors. I don't know. Anyway, I just got this one, and let me tell you, let me sing the praises of this little guy here. Oops, where did it go? I wore this yesterday, so it is dirty. Sorry. You're gonna see my booby sweat. No, you're not actually. So these are so good. First of all, they are sports bras, so they have moisture wicking. So those of us that have boob sweat, honey, get yourself one of these. Seriously. Also, they are basically cut like a tank top. So for summer, the visible bra line, there is like when you have, so I'm wearing one right now, but this is in the, so these were like a 3-pack, and these are from Hanes, no, Fruit of the Loom. They're a 3-pack for $12 at Walmart. These ones are like $12 for one. This is a medium support, and then they also have heavy support, which I have not gotten, and then there's light support, which is what I'm wearing now, which is why everything's saggy and hanging out, and I don't really care because I'm comfy. I'm not trying to impress y'all. You don't need to be impressed. You don't need to be worrying about my boobies, okay? But if you are worried about your boobies and your comfort, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. So this is a really cute, like lavender purple, and that's my jam. Has this little bit of ruching in the middle, so it does kind of get away from that uniboob thing. So if you're afraid of like looking like you just have an inner tube across as your boobage, you might get something like this. Has a little bit of ruching in the front. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Let me hold it up like this. There we go. So there's a little bit of gather right there. And this does have pads in it as well. And the pads are able to come out the side. Oh, I've got it inside out. Oh, that's why you can't see the ruching very well. It has the ruching on the inside. So I guess it wouldn't have been seen anyhow. But it does have these pads that can be pulled out. After you wash this a couple times, those pads are worthless. And personally, I don't care if anybody sees my nips, because I'm not even that person who's like, oh my goodness, I have to hide the fact I have boobies, because I've been dealing with this my whole life. As I said, I was 10 years old and I had size D cup. Like there was no hiding that. And finally I got to the point where I'm like, you know, if God did not want me to show that I have boobs, he wouldn't have given them to me. Just saying. Another topic for another video. But yeah, so these are so comfortable. So I don't care like who you are, try out. These are $12. And I know that people have talked and raved about the sports bras at Torrid. Check those out too. But I got this now. Like I said, I am like an H cup. I would be measured as an H cup, but you can wear a different size in sports bras because they're, you know, it's not a cup. It's not a fitted, tailored, wired cup. So you can get by with a lot more. This is a 3X, I think. Yeah, 3X, which is a 22. And I just get the biggest size that they have there. And again, so I would be like a 40, probably 42, 44. I haven't measured myself for a while, and I did put on weight because of, you know, Rona. And just getting back to the States, which is more stressful than the Caribbean. And I have like an H cup. So this works fine for me. I do get a little bit of bubblage here and here. You know, once in a while I have to adjust it, but for the most part, I really like this. So these are fantastic for summer because, like I said, they're going to cut down on the boob sweat. They're really lightweight, and you can just wear this with like a tank top, and it looks more pulled together than if you have an actual bra. Also, make sure you're getting the wider straps because that's going to put less pressure here. Because, you know, us big boob girls, we have that like permanent indent there. But the, you know, the wider strap kind of helps that. Now these ones are just like a tank top cut like this. This is more of a racer back. I love the look of a racer back because it comes in like this and kind of cuts out. And I think it's just a very pretty look. And wearing like a cardigan over that or something else, or a tank top, or I just like the way that looks. I think it's a very feminine look. So if you have not tried, highly recommend. I do love the fact that bralettes also hit, and I think that helped too, as bralettes really started to get popular like the year or two before COVID. So, you know, like 2018, 2019, you started to get a lot of bralettes, and people were starting to wear those just kind of as a matter of fact, but they looked more like bras at the beginning, and people were like, yeah, I'm not going to wear that on the outside of my clothes. But then when things like this started coming along, like basically just looked like a tank top, a crop tank top, then they were like, oh, I could actually wear that. So get yourself to Walmart or wherever it is that you feel like you want to go. Get yourself a really comfortable one or two of these. And honey, stop wearing the underwires. I wear mine. It actually, my dog chewed on it because she was mad at me because I was not taking her outside. So she doesn't usually chew on things, but once in a while, if she does, it's usually my bras or my socks. And so it was sitting on the floor because I was taking a nap or something like that. And she didn't approve. She wanted to go outside. She chewed on the side, so there's a little chunk out of it. I need to get a new one. I wear it on Sundays to church. That's it. When I want my boobies to look a little more perky. So, yeah, and that's, well, see, okay, that's the other thing. So Jill is asking, she says she's heavy but with small boobs. So do you think she can still wear sports bras? Yes. I mean, you can do anything you want because, it's you. And some people would say they idolize you because now you can wear things that I can't wear because they'll fit you up here where they won't necessarily fit me. I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? It will usually with a sports bra, it will to me, it kind of minimizes. So it's not going to make you look like you got as much. And that can be the disadvantage. But the other advantage is I think you could wear, like, if you got a really cute one like this, then you could wear something super strappy, or you could even do, if you're into this kind of thing, you could do like a mesh over the top of it, and almost wear it like a bra top. Well, it is a bra top because it's a sports bra, but like wear it like a tank top, crop tank top sort of top. And I think that gives you more ability to kind of wear this out and have it exposed, because they're even like the long lines where they're basically like a tank top, right? Actually go to the waist, or at least the high part of the waist. So you can get those as well. And the other thing is, because they have the pads here, if you wanted to actually compensate and actually make it look like there was a little bit more, you could add to the pads too. So, and this is, like I said, there's a little pocket here so you can pull it right out. And they're made like this, generally speaking. So yeah, absolutely do it and try it. But for you, if you have smaller boobs, then you may want to get something that is maybe a little more like a top so that you can wear it exposed, or don't care. That's the other thing. Because, nobody's really judging you by the size of your, okay, that's not true. I know that's not true. In our culture, again, see, now in the Haitian culture, they don't think about boobs as a sexual thing. They think of them as just part of a beautiful woman. She may have big ones, little ones, saggy ones, whatever. It's not the same as it is here, where you're expected to have Kardashian boobs. Like, that is the epitome of, who cares? I mean, I'm saggy. I don't care. And that's the thing, is people say, can I wear it because my breasts are saggy? Who cares? I go to the store like this, and I mean, you can see, like, there's not a lot of support. There's no support on these ones that come in the 3-packs. These are like pajamas, basically. They're sleeping bras if you want to sleep in a bra. I don't know. But those are the ones I wear around every day, all day, every day. And then I've got the 2 that have a little bit more support. I will eventually get one of the heavier support ones and see if that will replace the one I wear on Sunday. Because that'd be great if I could do that. But you might try that, actually get one of the heavier support ones. I don't know. Because those ones to me look like more like a bra. But they're just not underwired. So, but if you want to push up there, I'm sure there's places that you can get a push up sports bra, I would think. And also, it's going to be about the cut. So depending on how the cut is, that, the cut of your shirt, that's going to make more of a difference than the rest of it. Just wear fitted, cute, stuff that emphasizes the boobies, right? Or wear something bigger on top and something smaller. There's different ways to kind of mess with the eye and make that work. So yeah, you do you. So I was so happy to have you guys join. There's been people popping in and out. Jill's been with us almost through the whole live. And I did move this an hour earlier. So I know I'm messing with some people's schedules. They're like, when are you actually doing this? But I'm trying to find times at work. And I'm also trying to work around hubby's schedule. But now he is going into work a little bit earlier. So I can move this up a little bit. And so I'm toying with different times. I also might in the next week or two, change this so that I'm doing it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, definitely, Jill, let me know how it turns out. I would love to know that. You can comment on here, or you can just join in the next live. But, you know, and then I'm going to kind of be playing around with times to see what works for most people, so that the majority of people who want to join us can join us live, because I love the live interaction. I know the majority of people who watch after, and that's great too, but I like the live interaction. So if I can get this at a time that works well for you guys, then it's great for me too, because I can interact with you and you can give me feedback on what we're saying. So let me know what times work for you, if this is a good time or if there's something else. And that, like I said, I may change so that I'm doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because those might be more open times for me. We'll see if that's the case. But, and then it would be 3 days a week. So Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Right now it's Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday at 5 Central Standard Time, although I did it at 3 last Sunday because I was so exhausted. I might change to that. Sundays are sometimes tough because if we're going to do something, sometimes it's on Sundays. And so I like to move it back, but I also don't want it too far back because then I get tired and that's my nap day. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, we'll play with that and see. So let me know what days and times work for you. We'll keep experimenting here and figuring it out, but feedback will help, because then I know when we can get together. And then let me know what you want to talk about. So we'll keep talking about, I mean, I love to do this kind of stuff. I like to talk about PCOS, just my life with PCOS, being a fat girl, growing my hair, you know, when I didn't have anything, you know, what it's like doing like all natural sort of stuff. You know, there's a ton of things. There's a ton of things that we can talk about. Oh, makeup. Clearly, I talk about makeup, fashion, looking cute, pulling yourself together, that sort of thing. So if that's what you like, hang out, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those good things. And then that will help me to continue to get more people watching. And I will see you guys in the next one on Sunday at, it's either going to be 3 or 5. I'll try to do a story that tells you what time it's going to be a little bit ahead of time, but keep an eye out between 3 and 5 Central Standard Time. So see you then. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Gonna hit the right button here. And